Okay, so this is our route that handles displaying a blog post. On line 30 we have our route defined to accept the blog post ID, and we're going to define a query builder here. So what's going on is something a little different than we've seen before. We're going to call our findById method, but we're not going to pass a callback. And when we do it that way, Mongoose will return a query builder object. Now the query builder is a just fancy way, it's a fluent interface to define queries, set options, and define other additional functionality that we want on a specific query. And in this case, the only custom thing we're doing here is using the populate method of the query builder, and we pass a document property. So if you recall, in our model, we had set up the author property as a ref to the user model. So what this will do is once the blog post findById query returns, Mongoose then turns around and looks up the author in the users collection. And once that query is finished, replaces the author value with the document that was returned from that query. And when that is finished, our callback here on line 35 will get executed. So Populate runs additional queries for you. Since MongoDB does not support joins natively, it's just a wrapped up, easy to handle interface to grab data from other related collections when you need that. So in our callback we get the blog post object. We check for errors. If we didn't find a blog post object, in the case where a bad ID was passed, we just next, which will end up responding with a 404. As we already set up a long time ago. And otherwise we pass our post into our view.jade. So let's take a look at the view.jade file. So here's our new view to render our posts. It's pretty straightforward. The only thing a little different here is that we are now using .. to define our layout, and that's because we're one level deeper in our directory structure within views. But otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. We're just rendering our blog post title and body. We're using a span tag for the created date, and then we have a paragraph tag that outputs the author's full name. Now, full name should be grabbing your attention because we never defined a full name property on our user model. And so you might be wondering what the heck is going on. Well, let's take a peek at the user model now and see what's happening.